I'm ISI coach Eoin Lacey, and welcome to today's ISI training series. Today, what I want to go through with you guys is the topic of fat loss through the ISI comp. The ISI comp is a 2-day composition program. I've been sharing this program with a number of strength coaches and personal trainers over the last number of years with some great success. Now, again, the format is quite strict, but the exercise selection and repetitions can be changed slightly. This is the following setup. In the exercise order, we have two A exercises, A1, A2, and in the B series we have B1, B2, B3, and the C series, the third series, we have C1, C2, C3, and C4. Ideally, we give the biggest and most priority to the A series of exercises, thereby giving it 4 sets with 8 to 10 repetitions. A lower repetition bracket for fat loss, but the goal here is to get as much muscle mass as possible with a big movement. Second, we move on to the B series. We have 3 sets here, and we give a bit of a higher repetition bracket, 10 to 12 repetitions. And we finish off in the C series, or smaller muscle groups, giving only 2 sets, but more repetitions, 12 to 15 repetitions. As we move on to the tempo prescription and rest interval, because of the bigger muscle groups selected in the A series, we give it a longer time under tension or a longer tempo, 4010 being a typical tempo prescription, giving a pause after the concentric contraction. And we give it 60 seconds rest, which is the most amount of rest we give in the whole program series, which is still incomplete based on a big movement. Followed into the B series, we have 3 sets, 10 to 12 repetitions as listed before, but we give it a little bit of faster tempo, 3010, giving it an incomplete 30 seconds rest. Excuse me. As we move on to the C series, again 2 sets, 12 to 15 repetitions, but again these are smaller muscle groups like calves and external rotators, so we tend to give it a bit of a slower, a bit of a faster tempo, so 2010 or 3010 tempo with a 30-second rest interval. Now, the suggested muscle groups for each of the days, because it is a composition program, we split it into 2 different days, concentrating on different areas and giving them more priority, particularly in the A series. So in the A series, we have a back squat, back barbell squat, followed by a chin up. So we're working on the lower part of the body, anterior part, and then immediately following up to the upper part of the body, the posterior aspect. By doing this, you will get a lot of peripheral heart activation, thereby getting a lot of elevated blood pressure and heart rate for the individual, but also maintaining a lot of muscle mass. Again, muscle burns fat is what we're looking for here. On the day 2, we concentrate more on the posterior chain with a Romanian deadlift or a good morning. And we find here in the Irish Strength Institute, when people do Romanian deadlift, sometimes the grip tends to be a limiting factor. So again, good mornings are a good option there. And then on the A2 exercise, again, dips being a great exercise. V-bar dips rather than bench dips. Bench dips are not great for the shoulder. And then working on shoulder presses. Anything from 60 degrees upwards is ideal for the shoulder press. As we move on then to the B series, we concentrate on knee flexion, whether it be lying leg curl, kneeling leg curl, standing leg curl. Again, a seated leg curl is not the best option, but if that's all you have, that's all you have. And then we move on to B2, some sort of shoulder movement. Again, shoulder movements are much better for the whole shoulder complex rather than bench pressing all the time. Again, I really like dumbbells in this aspect. And B3, we work on low abs mainly. As we come on to day 2, we like to really pair that movement with a row. So depending on what you did earlier on in the day 2, on the A series, we like to do some sort of row or some sort of pull down motion. Then the B2, we like to do some sort of alternating lunge, which is quite hard on the legs, or a leg press, depending on that person's blood pressure abilities. And then we move on to low abs. Then the C series, if you haven't done the hard work in the A's, and if you haven't done it in the B's, you're not going to catch up now. So the key aspect of this program is to concentrate on the big movements, the big muscle mass earlier on the workout. And in these exercises, it can be toner exercises, or posture exercise, or just trying to improve your specialization of your muscle mass. But again, you will not catch up in the C series. The hard work must be done in the A's and B's. So what we have here is triceps, bent over lateral raise or trap 3, some sort of calf work or some sort of back extension. On the day 2, we have biceps, some sort of side plank, tibialis work. If you have done standing calf work, you can do seated calf work. If you've done high elbow external rotation on day 1, you can do low elbow external rotation on day 2. The idea here is in the C series to offset structure and balance and make sure you maintain posture and allow yourself to do the bigger movements. But again, the bigger movement should be your goal. Because again, the more muscle mass you activate, the more lean tissue you can put on, but also the more fat you can lose. Again, these are just keep you on the road to doing big movements. Again, this is the first one of the ISI training series. If you'd like more information, please just give us a comment on Facebook, the ISI Facebook, or on our website, which is isipersontraining.com. This is the first of many, and thank you for your time.